I bet you've always wanted to see what you look like when you're annoyed at cars. Or film yourself drinking coffees, weaving through buses, or riding at night. This camera's pretty good for that. Hello. I'm probably riding my bike. I'm back home in Seoul after a lovely trip back home in the UK. And I've been welcomed with a new camera. The perks of having a semi-successful YouTube channel is that I get to try out fun cameras, and I'm lucky to get sponsored by companies like Insta360. So here's a video to show their new camera, the Insta360 X6. In the box you've got the camera, the 114 centimeter invisible selfie stick, a lens cap, a fast charge case, cable, protective pouch, lens cloth, and you got the extra extreme battery as well, so you get two batteries in it. There's the lens cap popping off. First thing I notice is that it's a bit shorter than the X5. This is the extra fast charge case and the extra extreme battery. And the protective pouch. And a nice touchscreen on it too, like with the others. I'm not going to go deep into the tech and stats because I'm not a tech review channel, but I do my best. I'll be talking a bit more about my experience with it and showing you some footage with this compared to the other Insta360 cameras. Another thing I received is the replacement lens kit. A few weeks ago I dropped my X5 and smashed the lens, and was relieved to find that it's super easy to replace the lenses on these cameras. It took me less than 5 minutes. Before I talk about the camera a bit more, I'll freshen up with a bit of caffeine and a nice coffee at one of my favourite cafes, Travertine. It's 34 degrees outside and humid, but I'd still rather sit outside. If I have a nice coffee inside, I just get too cold. I just left the coffee on the camera on the table and edited these shots later on. It's nice that you can just set and forget and keyframe later on. I'll talk a bit more about that later in the video. Super delicious coffee. I'm so happy to be back in Seoul to have this abundance of amazing cafes. Right, back on the bike, back riding, trying out this new camera. This is actually the very first ride I tried it out. I'm using one of the handlebar mounts from Insta360. It has a very lightweight carbon fibre pole to stick out in front of you. I feel like having it makes cars a bit more aware of you, but it didn't help with the car earlier in the video. The other Insta360 cameras I have already are the X4 Air and the X5, and they're pretty awesome cameras too, but this one's just a bit better all round. It's got the best image quality and the best hardware out of all the three cameras, with no compromise in performance and image quality. I'll tell you a bit about the stats. So it's got a Sony custom dual square 1 and 1.1 inch sensors with a 4 nanometer AI triple core. If you don't know what those numbers means, it basically just means that you're going to have really good imagery day and night. For colours and tones, it's got native Dolby vision. It supports 10-bit colours and adaptive tone as well. So the shots can be quite cinematic straight from the camera. I've been enjoying the different mounts with these cameras too. This is the tail mount, which gets some cool kind of computer gamey shots from behind. The camera shoots 8K 50 frames per second up to with the 360 videos. It's small but powerful at 196 grams, and the battery is pretty amazing. lasts up to 140 minutes at 8K 30 frames per second, and it's also waterproof up to 20 meters. So for this video I'm going to do a little comparison between the three Insta360 360 cameras. The X5 on the left, the X4 Air in the middle, and the X6 on the right. You can see the size difference here. Basically, the X6 is the flagship 360 camera. It's for if you want like the ultimate image quality, and if you want the most innovative AI features. The X5 is a great camera. It's the best value probably. You still get the full experience of the 360 camera with the same AI editing experience as the X6. It's a good all-rounder. And the X4 Air is probably the best entry-level one, and it's the lightest as well. It's a bit more affordable than the other two. All three cameras are 8K 360 video, but the hardware is a bit different, which means different image quality, light, how they handle light, and their dynamic range in the high contrast situations. I'll do a couple of side-by-side comparisons. First we'll look at the daylight performance for each camera. They all look good in daylight. I think the X6 has the most details. The X5 is still very stable and clear, and the X4 Air is sufficient for most cases. Just the difference in the sensor sizes and the details. I think the textures and structures are shown the most in the X6, and the X5 is still very detailed, and the X4 handles daylight scenarios perfectly well too. Next up we'll compare the microphones that are inbuilt in each camera. The X6 microphone is hidden and windproof, and it filters out the wind noise pretty well. The others are quite clear too. Let's have a listen to each one. Hello, I'm probably riding my bike, and this is an audio recording from the microphone to test the quality of the Insta360 X4 Air. Hello, I'm probably riding my bike, and this is the audio quality from the microphone on the Insta360 X5. Hello, I'm probably riding my bike, and this is a microphone test. To test the internal microphone of the Insta360 X6. The cicadas are very loud at the moment. It's the soundtrack of Seoul summer, but they all picked up my voice very well. The next comparison is a high dynamic range situation. You can see that the X6 performs the best in this high light contrast scene. With the X6 you can still see the details in the highlights and in the shadows. The X5 you can still see good exposure on me, and the X4 Air has the weakest of the three but can still handle like backlit daily scenarios. And now to the night riding. When I first got the X5 I was amazed how good it was at night. So now let's see how the three cameras compare to each other. Here's the three side by side. I think it's quite clear that the X6 low light performance is the best with the clearest imagery, but the X5, as I said before, in pure video mode is really great. X4 Air is not so good in low light. It's not really recommended to use in these low light situations. On the X6 the dual 1 and 1.1 inch sensors with their upgraded AAA chip show really good low light imagery with little noise when shooting the stars. There's no stars here in Seoul, so I'll shoot the bright lights. X5 has a AAA chip, and with the pure video mode its low light performance is very good. I love riding at night in Seoul, especially on these hot summer days. It's so much cooler, and there's so much to see. The city's always alive. Before I didn't make any night riding videos, or I used to cut out a lot of the footage I got because it wasn't nearly good enough. But now, as you can see with this one, these cameras catch really amazing night footage. Another fun accessory with the 360 cameras is the selfie stick, which is invisible thanks to some clever software. It's useful if you're vlogging and walking around with the camera, but also if you want to catch some shots higher up too. In terms of tones and colours straight from the camera, all three do very well. The X6 supports Dolby Vision and 10-bit colours, and probably produces, or does produce, the best tones and colours. The X5 and X4 Air can produce natural and true-to-life colours straight from the camera too. Let's just look at the camera design again. The X6 is the most powerful, X5 most balanced, and X4 Air is the most portable. The weight, screen and protection designs are different for all three cameras. The X6 is an OLED full screen and still very compact. The X5 is a bit longer, easier to hold, and the X4 is the most portable. X6 is 196 grams, X5 is 200 grams, and the X4 Air is only 165 grams for those conscious of weight. I know there's some weight weenies out there who spend hundreds of pounds and dollars to save a few grams on their bike parts. Here I am at the other Travertine in town. I was away for a while, so I came back to my two of my favourites from the same company for another delicious iced coffee. On the way home I'll try out another mount. This is actually one of the handlebar mounts, but you can mount it anywhere on your bike and you can get a cool shot like this one. In terms of battery life and durability, all three are great for like daily and sports filming. Of course the new camera, the X6, has the best battery life, waterproofability and toughness. The X6 has a 2600 mAh extreme battery, the X5 2400 and the X4 Air 2010. What that means in terms of time is the X6 goes for 140 minutes at 8K 30 frames per second, the X5 at 93 minutes and the X4 Air at 88 minutes. With durability, they all have replaceable lenses. The X6 is more scratch resistant and even easier to install. I haven't tried yet, hopefully I won't need to. All of them are waterproof without a dive case. The X6 to 20 meters and the X5 and the X4 Air to 15 meters. Maybe I'll have to try that out in another video. I'll go and ride my bike underwater somewhere. For any editing novices or people with no time, there are also smart editing AI features with these cameras. The X5 and X6 share the same full AI editing capability, and the X4 Air has a basic smart editing experience. I haven't had this camera very long, so I haven't had the chance to try out its full AI editing experience yet. I'll talk about that more in another video. But the X5 and X6 have a auto editing while charging feature, which sounds quite interesting. I'm back in Seoul, so of course I decided to cycle up a hill on the way home and stop off at my favourite wall to take a picture of my bike. Let's enjoy this descent.
Open your eyes to see the day the universe is made for me.
was a pretty fun one. So that's all the comparisons done. This video has been a bit different from my normal videos, but I've had good fun creating it. It's nice to have some different challenge sometimes. I appreciate Insta360 for sending me these cameras and providing me with this opportunity of sponsorship. With that in mind, I do recommend these cameras, and I hope this video has been quite useful if you're considering one of them. If you're keen, you can use the link in the video description, and if you do, you're helping me out too. So just an overview, all three cameras are clearly positioned. The X6 is going to be the first choice if you want the best image quality. The X5 is for people who want a balanced experience, and the X4 is perfect entry-level camera. Basically you just choose depending on your budget and also your needs of AI editing capability. The X6 and X5 if you want the full AI editing experience, and the X4 Air if you want more basic features. All three cameras you can use on different mounts, like the third person handlebar mount, the bicycle tail mount, the other handlebar mount that you can basically mount anywhere, and the invisible selfie stick. I hope you've enjoyed my foray into tech reviews. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.